Hello, we're Middlesbrough branch of Comhaltas, and we're here tonight practising in St Francis Parish Hall, which is where we used to meet weekly, but in fact we were locked down from March right through until we came back last Wednesday, so this is our second week back after lockdown. And I'm Helen Passman and I'm the secretary. I had to think there because we're such a small branch, we swap our jobs around a bit, so I've been the chair before, but now I'm not. So yeah, we started down in there was a Knights of St Columba club in the town, and we had a girl from Birmingham, Noreen Connolly, and she came up to study at Teesside University in 1994, and she looked for an Irish scene and she found the Knights, and then she looked for could she do some lessons, and Brian McGowan, who was the secretary or the other man of the club, said, yep, come in and you can do lessons. So a few of our initial members started having lessons, and that would be myself, Jill and Joe that are over there. And she entered us into the Fleadh as members of Leeds branch in 1996, and then we formed our own branch in 1997. So that's how we started, really. And we started with our children who were then 9 and 10-year-olds, who are now in their 30s. Nicola, who you saw there, was one of the younger ones. Tony, one of our members, he's gone to Ireland, not back to Ireland because his parents came from Ireland. So he's gone back with his 2 daughters, but Nicola was his niece, and she's one of the original children. So at the moment we don't have any children in the branch. We've tried various ways, tried going to schools and things, but at the moment we're just a group of 6 or 7 adults. Looking at the history, when we had the children, we had people qualify for Ireland. We had one under-12 winner of lilting, so that was an All-Ireland winner one year, and others have qualified for singing, lilting, one in the adult fiddle slow airs, and a couple of them been in the Ceilidh band, Culra, and a few of them went there and enjoyed themselves in Ireland. So other than that, what are the highlights of our group? Well, when we had the children more, we used to join in the various local festivals that they have around the Middlesbrough area. There's one called Middlesbrough Music Live. There was another one called Stockton Riverside Festival, and there was even an ancient old-fashioned little thing called Billingham Folklore Festival, but we played a bit of music in that in the parade. And some of the young people went up to the Tyneside Irish Centre and played for Mary McAleese when she was president. So that's probably the most famous thing we did. Oh, I didn't do it, but some people did. but we have a lot of contact with Tyneside Irish Centre through Tony Corcoran. And we have in the past, when we had the children, we have been and had joint, like a Saturday session where they taught us little instruments, little lessons for maybe on a half term, but we haven't done that for years really. Well, a lot of our members are also, we started about 4 years ago, 2016, we started the Teesside Irish Society so that we could get some grants for looking after the old people in the area and putting on events, which we have done. So we've had a play, we've had some ceilidhs, and in this hall we put on a social for the older people a couple of times a year, a winter warmer and a summer social. And during the lockdown, Tony Corcoran started a North East Irish network, and he asked me to join in with that and try to build up the list of old people for the database. And we actually got to 120 members of that database in Teesside. That includes Stockton and Billingham and Norton and everywhere. And we took parcels out to them, little cakes and things. It wasn't hardship parcels, it was just cakes. And we've done a magazine, we've had people write their story for the North East Network magazine, which is actually still going on each month at the moment until the grant runs out. There are quite a few Irish people, older Irish people here, but we don't tend to manage to get many of them to join us. If we do an old people's afternoon, we might get 50 or 60 that might come, but it's harder to get them involved in the society, or certainly in Comhaltas. But they are there in the area, and we haven't got an Irish centre. We haven't had an Irish centre for many years, and we did have the Knights of St Columba, which was like a Catholic club, but that closed down, so we haven't really got a base for anywhere. Well, there isn't a parade, but we did do, for the last 3 years, for 17, 18, 19, we did a Teesside Irish Festival around about. Well, 1 year we changed it to May to see if it would get more people, but it didn't work, so we went back to the March. And so we would put something on, the social club down the road, they'd put something on, and then over in Stockton in the Georgian Theatre, we'd have maybe one of the Teesside University history lecturers, and she would get a little debate going about Ireland 2020, whichever year it was. She'd find something topical that we could have they had a debate amongst themselves and we could ask questions. That was interesting. And then we'd have a band, something like that. But we didn't do any parades really because, well, there aren't enough of us, we'd just be alone. We also, when we weren't locked down, have a thing we call First Thursday. We began that when Ailish, one of our members, started it because we wanted, I'll probably pronounce this incorrectly, but she wanted to collect some money for Trad for Throchara, which is like a charity. And so we started a session where we would try and raise a bit of money with a raffle. And then we continued with First Thursday. So Dermot, one of the men that you saw there, he comes to that, and that's how we know him, through that. But all the others are either our branch members or past. Nicola's a past member, but she said she's going to come back now, so fingers crossed she will.
Oh, lovely. And you've all, so as like members and past members, you've all paid before like at sessions and stuff here? Would they be here? Or?
They would be in a pub down the town, usually. Sherlock's sometimes, and yeah, lately it was Sherlock, so we just do a little session, and a couple more musicians might join us. Some people might, there was even one would come down from Peterlee, one person would come up from, well, Dermot lives in Great Ayton, they'd come from different places in the northeast, but it would only be a small session, but it was good.